Well, it's throughout my high school and college years and well into my adulthood, it was a pretty big part of my life. As you know, played three sports throughout high school and in college, field hockey, basketball, softball. And, first and foremost, I played because I like to play. I love the games. I like to compete in the games. And it gave me a lot of different outlets um, for my mental and physical well-being. Mhm. I think, well, the biggest thing that happens being part of a team is if you want to be a successful team, you have to figure out how to take the strengths and weaknesses of each other and channel them into a formula for success. And that means you have to, be supportive of others in their development, and also everybody has to find their place to contribute. And some days you might contribute more, and some days you might contribute less, but it's all in service of a common goal. And I think that can be a really unifying force for people, that you can focus more on what you have going on together, and less on maybe little things that don't matter so much. And I think sports for me in college gave me an opportunity to start to be a leader and develop leadership skills, and I think those have directly helped in my professional career, um, because not only do you have to figure out how to deal with people that are everybody brings a different point of view to the problem at hand. and and when you're working together as a team, you learn to understand how important those different points of view are, and how critical it is for the success that you're all trying to strive for. Well, wow, that was a moment of great pride. Continues to be a moment of great pride, a humbling moment, a moment to reflect on, the path to that point in my life. Academic success, the professional success, the um, the service to the community. All those things are represented in there. But I think the most um, important thing it allowed me to reflect on is, how much support I had along the way. From family, from friends, from coaches, from coworkers, from teachers, and uh, and how big of a role um, going to school at MIT, playing sports at MIT, um, had in shaping, along with the other really major influence in my life, which is my family, how big a role it had in shaping, the person that I am today. Yeah. So the interesting thing is, I was thinking back on this, and going. I don't know that I was that aware of Title IX as a specific entity, um, but but I but I did know that opportunities in a lot of things, including sport, were increasing. And I probably the first set of students to I actually looked up what year Title IX passed, 1972. So that was about 8 years before I arrived at MIT. And I knew some of the history from the coaches, that some of the sports teams that I played on started right around the time, I think, somewhere in the 7 to 8 years before I arrived. And but for me, I arrived at college. I wanted to study. I wanted to play. The history wasn't quite as important as wanting to be on the field. But I think the other thing that happened, and those opportunities were there, and they continued to grow. And um, and the one, I think I told you this story the last time that we spoke, but the one thing I really strongly remember is, uh, during my undergraduate years, some of the coaches gave a little discussion about how much effort it took by some of those ladies also to provide the opportunities that we and I were taking advantage of to play sports in college. And it was a good reminder of the effort that had gone before, and that I was part of this chain of people who were interested in sports for women and wanted to continue to work for those opportunities. So I think that was the landscape when I got to MIT, and to some degree, I probably took it a little bit for granted, and it was a good reminder that those opportunities were ones that occurred because people before me did a lot of work to make that happen. Yeah, I think that a couple things. One is, first of all, it's fabulous just to see the continued growth, the continued growth of the sports teams throughout different venues, high school and college, national teams, professional leagues, lots of opportunities for women to participate and excel on the field or on the court. And then you could see lots of folks entering the coaching ranks, and all those things are wonderful to see. But I think it all comes down to a couple different things, right? One is the opportunities need to be there, and we need to keep vigilant that they continue to be opportunities for all. But since this conversation is around women, we'll focus on women. But I think the other thing is it's important for us to mentor and support others, to talk about our experiences, to understand and be available to others who may be going through a tougher time, trying to figure out their path, and be there to help guide, reflect, mentor, and to realize that everybody's got to find a little bit of their own way, and that's okay. And my experience won't look the same as your experience, but they're both valid and important experiences that should be celebrated. And it's not while success athletically is an important thing, participation and putting yourself in the context. Putting yourself in the contest and preparing to the best of your ability to succeed, and then dealing with either the graciously with the win that follows, or graciously with the loss, and learning from that loss and learning from the success, and funneling that into continued search for growth and mastery over the things we do in our life. And hopefully we do that with an eye toward making the world a better place. Oh, it's fabulous. It's absolutely fabulous. It's gives me great pride. The one thing that exists now that totally didn't exist when I was a player was all the streaming, right? I sometimes turn on the computer and watch a match, watch the field hockey team, watch the softball team, follow them through their season, watch basketball team. It's fabulous to see how committed and how well the teams are doing. It's great to be able to watch them, even though I don't live close by the MIT at the moment. And yeah, it's nothing but pride in joy in seeing that tradition at MIT continue with a great deal of strength.